ISIS grew from 4 loons in a minivan in Aleppo in Syria. What's Aleppo? And it became a caliphate the size of Great Britain, and committed genocide and brought back slavery and sex slavery and the kidnapping and the beheadings and all this stuff, because Joe Biden and Barack Obama decided to pull all the troops out of Iraq. And of course, now that we have the experience of what happened in Iraq, they're doing it again in Afghanistan because they never learned. They just never learned. But here's Lunch Bucket Joe, because ISIS is back, and it's going to make a big comeback. Now they call it ISIS-K, like that's different. It's like the COVID. We have variants, Alpha and Delta and Kappa Epsilon or something. And we got the Delta one now. That's the big Delta. We're moving on to the next one, I think, soon. Here's Lunch Bucket Joe yesterday saying that we get tired of hearing. I do get tired of hearing him say things. I think he should retire. And I do think that Republicans should be introducing, after yesterday, the impeachment, articles of impeachment. And also, I think one Republican member of Congress already has. And also introduce the prospect of the 25th Amendment, removing him because of incapacity. He's clearly suffering from intellectual and mental incapacity. Yesterday, Lunch Bucket Joe on ISIS.
Over the past few weeks, I know many of you are probably tired of hearing me say it.
Nobody's heard you say it.
We've been made aware by our intelligence community that the ISIS-K, an arch enemy,
the ISIS-K,
the Taliban, people who were freed when both those prisons were opened.
Yeah, they were freed.
Has been planning a complex set of attacks on the United States personnel and others.
Because of you. Because of all the actions you've taken. And, I was thinking about this yesterday, too. The Taliban came in, or the Taliban. Hey, Mr. Taliban, let me go home. And they're all, they emptied the prisons, and they always do this in Yemen. Because it's some other century where they are. But it reminded me that the Democrats today are planning on releasing Sirhan from prison in California. He, of course, shot Bobby Kennedy in the head and murdered him when he was running for president in 1968. And he shot several other people that day in the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And Baby Doc Cuomo, of course, who is now leaving. He's leaving he left the governor's mansion. He left his dog behind because he didn't want no stinking dog. That was just for political reasons. And he is freeing that terrorist from the Weather Underground, the cop killer. He's doing his best to free the terrorist cop killer. And the Democrats are emptying prisons by having no bail. It's another area of commonality that they have with the Taliban. They blow up and tear down statues, the Taliban and the left in America. They destroy the history of the country, the Taliban and the Democrats in America. They want to empty out the prisons of criminals. They and free Sirhan, an assassin, a political assassin, a murderer. And they want to free the terrorist with the Weather Underground, cop killer, the Brinks robbery, 1981, Governor Cuomo. This is, again, a lot of commonality. Mob violence, mob political violence everywhere. Suicide attacks. I listed some of the Democrats' many suicide attacks. James Hodgkinson on the baseball field, and Ishmael Brinsley, and killing officers Ramos and Liu in New York, and Xavier Micah Johnson, the massacre of police officers, suicide attacks all in Dallas, Texas, suicide attack on the police in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And by the way, the Politico broke a big story yesterday how the Biden people are handing out lists of our allies, kill lists to the Taliban for distribution to the Haqqani network and ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the rest, because they all share the info, But also the Politico has another story today. Cuomo, it's Baby Doc Cuomo. He's already rearing his ugly, vicious head. Cuomo plots his revenge is the headline. As governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo was notorious among the Albany press corps for using the media as a tool to inspire fear and sow mayhem. But nobody reported on this until now because they all covered up for him because they're all Democrats and they're all in it together. He'd speak to reporters on background as a senior administration official, but they never revealed that, and use that anonymity to defend himself. Oh, that's a good trick. He'd plant unsavory stories about political opponents. He'd get his aides to carry out his dirty work. It's an approach Cuomo plans to continue in life after office. See, now they just revealed something here, that the governor himself would be quoted in newspaper reports as a senior administration official when it was the governor. It was the governor himself, and he was smearing and sliming people, and the news media went along with it. And they carried this water for him because the media is the most corrupt institution in the United States of America. The Democratic Party may be the second most corrupt institution in the United States of America, but the news media, the American press, the Fourth Estate, I'm an erstwhile member, the most corrupt institution in the United States. All right, let's get back to Lunch Bucket Joe, because he's a member of at least one of these corrupt organizations. And he said, ISIS-K, and these people that were freed from prison, they're freeing terrorists from prison. Sirhan, and what's his name? I'll get his name. Joe Biden yesterday.
As General McKenzie said, this is why our mission was designed. This is the way it was designed to operate.
This is
operating under severe stress and attack. We've known that from the beginning.
We've known that from the beginning. We all knew that the terrorists were going to attack. And as he said, we're tired of hearing say that in the past few weeks, and the intelligence people have been telling him that they're going to attack us. He's never said that before. And that hasn't even leaked before. And then he comes on to lie, oh, this is old news. You guys I've said this so many times, you're probably tired of hearing me say it. That's just a flagrant lie. He hasn't said it. Nobody's said it. And nobody's tired of hearing you say it because you haven't said it. You're a lying sack of Jewia. Just to say. Lunch Bucket Joe yesterday. This is when he decided to go to reporters. And he doesn't know the reporters, even though he sees them almost every day. He's known them for years. They've known him for years. They've all interviewed him over the course of the years. They all fluff him like pros. And here comes Kelly O'Donnell. But Joe Biden, he's got to read from a piece of paper telling him what to do next.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here.
They gave me a list here.
The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
He was the first person. First person. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's like he's got an announcement to make. They gave me a list here of friendly reporters who are going to ask softball questions. And I'll start with Kelly O'Donnell, fluffer from NBC News. Joe Biden yesterday. It's just amazing. And nobody even reports on this, like Cuomo being the secret source talking about other people in his administration. And then he said, the ISIS, they're blaming ISIS for the deadly terror attack yesterday, but they have no relationship with our friends in the Taliban who are helping us out real good.
There is no evidence thus far that I've been given as a consequence by any of our commanders in the field.
As a consequence.
That there has been collusion between the Taliban and ISIS. In carrying out what happened today, both in front of the hotel and what is expected to continue for beyond today.
What is expected to continue for beyond today. Well said, genius boy. So what he's saying is they're going to keep attacking us and that our planes are in danger, our troops are in danger. These are terrorist groups, and he's botched this thing so horribly. Bagram Air Base was easily defended. Hamid Karzai International Airport is not defensible at all, really. And depending on the Taliban,